That's my sister.
Yeah, for that
Everyone,
for that,
Jamie. And we're 17 months apart.
Tanya, do it. Yes. do it.
We need
Are
money
you going to
first.
give me the keys?
That's good.
There we go.
What year was that?
Oh, gosh. Does anyone out here know?
1980.
I was probably 16. Was this 86? Season. Oh, it was season 8.
I don't know what
So
you're
that would
talking
be- it
about. It was
started-
before I got
88
there.
or 80, 88? 80.
It was definitely season 8?
88.
Okay.
I was in boarding school.
That scarred me for life.
Wait, what happened?
As a 10-year-old, that scarred me for life. Just so you know, like, it still annoys me.
What did you say?
And when you cut your hair.
When you cut your
Oh,
hair.
you didn't like it? Yeah, that was a bad move. I mean, let me tell you something.
We all had some pretty crazy hair in
No,
that
but
show.
what you
And shoulder
don't,
pads.
yeah, you don't
Yes.
be doing
Make-
is changing your hair all the time if you're a character on a TV show.
And
But
you,
I did.
that's true. You did. I never thought
Yeah,
about
but
that. So it's like doing that.
But Joan used to tell me when I was coming back, make sure you get a good haircut. You know, at the end of the season.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
She said, come back with a new.
I remember one of the seasons, I can't remember which year it was, but I think because I went through teenage years, there was one year where everyone thought that I wasn't that they had changed actresses. I can't remember which season it was, but everyone was like, where's Tanya? Where's Tanya? I was like, I'm still here. Gosh, I must have changed a lot. But you go from a young lady to a young woman.
I don't know
Exactly.
what I was doing.
Oh, listen to
I probably
this,
got-
the mutual admiration club.
It happens.
Question
Yeah.
for Joe.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Did you have any favorite guest stars?
Oh, there were so many.
I mean, I love David Gardner. Only because, I don't know, there was something about her vibe. She was, really interesting.
Wow.
And I didn't work Ava Gardner. I didn't work with her, but when she walked through the studio, she was on we had scenes on the same day, and I just remember being her voice is all smoky, and she just had this vibe, and I was because I worked with Natalie Wood, so I had done 2 movies with Natalie Wood, so I kind of had this, but Natalie's just so soft, and she just has a very different vibe. But then this Ava Gardner came through, and I was like, whoa. It was a different version of a woman. And she was just intriguing to me. So I would say that was my favorite as far as. And then, I don't know, Alec Baldwin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was a bit.
Blue eyes.
Ooh, Joshua. But I didn't have any scenes with him.
Chip was hot.
But he fell in love with my best friend, my real best friend, Patrice.
In real life?
In real life.
How'd that work out?
Not well.
He's got a problem with
No,
women.
I think mine was Jessica Walter.
Oh,
Because, she and Michelle didn't know each other that well, but they had a very similar history. And I remember being in the kitchen and them talking about, you, me, and Brenda Vaccaro were those 3 girls from New York. And I just felt I'm getting a front row seat to some old Hollywood lore here about what they felt about each other, because they were sort of similar. So it was just fun. That was fun. And that fashion show thing, that was crazy. That was nuts.
Do you have a favorite guest star, Paul?
I'm sorry?
Did you have a favorite guest star?
My favorite to work with.
Sweet,
That's it. That's
sweet.
all I got. All right, drop
Guest
star. We got questions.
I have to say, when Claudia, when your character got really sick and was going to die, those scenes were pretty realistic.
Oh, well, thank you.
And when you're pulling this stuff out.
Yes. Yes. That was a big story. And I remember did you guys know who Nina Foch was? Do you remember her? Okay, she was like an acting teacher. And I did some privates with her for those episodes. So,
Hey,
That helps. That does help.
I was like, this is like my big fucking
I like
chance.
You took it serious.
I took it, yes.
That's what I mean about the cast. There was such a level of acting that was going on.
And did you think it was weird to bring Lisa Harper back as a different character? Were you like, people are not gonna know that that's not the same, it's not CG?
No, it was like obvious that, you know, they just loved her, and, you know, they were like, why do we kill her? I mean, it was a dumb way to bring her back. You just happened to look exactly like, I mean, not even like a twin, just like a weird doppelganger situation, and with a new haircut. But, you know, what are you gonna do?
Wait a
It's
minute,
soap opera.
hold on a second. They killed her and brought her back?
Yes. Don't you know anything?
He was busy selling drugs.
The famous arc of the show.
I think she was hired originally knowing she was gonna die.
Yeah, no, I was there. I know exactly what happened, and I remember the executive producer.
But they were very loyal. They were very loyal to us, the producers. Like I think that's probably what happened. Like I got hired to do a few pilots. Pilots are like when you do a new series. And they actually, because they didn't feel that they were using me enough, they actually, in the beginning, they let me do a few pilots and said, okay, because they read the script and they were like, you know what, this is a big deal, this is a big role. So if you get this, then we'll let you go. Like, if it goes, we'll let you go. But it's not, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So they supported, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I think that's maybe what happened with Lisa.
I just think they liked
They were just
her.
supportive of your careers, you know, and wanted to see everyone succeed.
Yeah,
And
up to a certain point.
yeah, to a certain point. Exactly.
Come on.
Then they're like,
Come on,
bye-bye.
let's
Then they
say
drop you
it's
like a
yours.
mic.
It must be a hard thing when, you run a series that runs that long and all of a sudden you're not on anymore. And, you're still, you're not dead.
Well, that's true. I'm not dead.
Just in the business.
I'm not dead. Yeah, no, that wasn't my favorite thing, but I did get sober and become a TV writer. So I didn't. But for a while after that, I was like, because I was a teenager, so it was like your second family. So you're like getting kicked out by your faux work family, and I think that's hard. I think it is very hard on child actors. I mean, we know that.
Yeah, I mean, it can be for sure. But I think the family life makes a difference.
Yes.
It's funny because I didn't spend any of my extra time with anyone from Hollywood. Like, I was with my school friends. So I
You
went,
came to one of my parties.
I did?
Yeah, my 30th birthday party at the St. James Club. You came.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, maybe one. But for me, it was, I had worked since I was 5. So, and I got the show at 9. So at 19, I was a little bit like ready to take a break. And people kind of wonder what happened to me. And what happened was I was just gonna take a little break. And then I just got sidetracked by another love of, I fell in love with yoga. And I am a teacher, like I love teaching. And my father was a principal
Show us a talent,
of a junior
John.
high school. So my father was a principal of a junior high school, so it's kind of in my blood, And so, I don't know, I just, like how you're writing.
Yes.
Like I became a teacher and a healer and, I found another love. But acting's always been my love. And it will always be my love. And I literally was born to act. I mean, I told my parents at 4 years old, I literally pointed to the TV and I said, I want to do that. And they're like, what does that mean? And within a year and a half, I was on a Charlie's Angels, extra set.
Beamish!
And Jacqueline Smith, Beamish! And Jacqueline Smith's character was a young girl in a flashback. And the girl that was hired to do that role, because I wasn't hired because I didn't have my union card. So the girl that was hired got into a fender bender. So they were like, oh my God, and they didn't have enough time. I mean, TV's fast.
I got
Right?
a job because, somebody's father died.
Yeah,
You want to do this job?
Yeah, and you're like, sure.
Sure.
So they pulled us aside. They pulled the 2 or 3 girls that had the coloring, the dark hair and the blue eyes.
Yeah.
And they said, could you read this for us? And I guess when it came to me reading it, because I was ready. So they were like, oh my God, she's so much better than the girl we hired. And,
This shit really,
never mind, it was history.
this shit really does happen.
But it does happen. Desire, right? But I saw myself on a TV screen as a little girl. And, and I share that with you guys, right? Like, we were in it and you were watching it, and it's an amazing
And we love you for
relationship.
it.
And we really, I mean, no, it's amazing. Like, I just love that I'm a part of TV, of being a part of a TV show. It's incredible. And like, seeing you guys come up to us and like, you know, meeting you, it's just, I absolutely love
Wouldn't
it.
you consider it's a class, it's, you know what I didn't like? I'll say this. I didn't like that they called it a nighttime soap. It had a kind of, yeah, but it was beyond that. I mean, if you wanted soap opera, you could watch. You know,
Yes, it was a 1-hour drama.
Yeah, it was a 1-hour drama.
This is us for the 80s.
They put us in a different.
We were the first, we were the first.
You were the first.
They had a separate award
Yeah.
show for it.
But you know, they tried to sell Knots Landing. David Jacobs created Knots Landing and Dallas, and he wanted to sell Knots Landing. That was his baby. And all 3 networks passed on it. So he was like, they were like, who's gonna watch a show about a cul-de-sac? You know, people on cul-de-sac. And he was like, huh? He goes, well, I have this other piece, Dallas, and it was about wealth and, right? This is, you know, I guess it was just interesting. So the network's like, we'll take it. And he was like, what? He's like, okay. So he goes, okay, on one condition, if it does a certain success rate or whatever, can I put anything else that I want on CBS? And they were like, they wanted Dallas so bad. They said yes to him, but he knew it was gonna be Knots Landing. And that's why, sort of like, right, the spin-off kind of, it wasn't.
Did he change the name? Was it a different name?
No, it was always Knots Landing. Yeah, because that was, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you know anything more about that?
No,
Like,
I just remember,
but I
one
remember.
of the funny things about being on the show was that our stages were right next door to the Dallas stage. And, well, we'd hear stories about things that were going on there. You know, with certain people, I won't say. Just like people being more demanding than possibly one would like. But the funny thing, we had Larry Hagman on a couple of times, and he would walk around the MGM lot
He'd be on a scooter.
and with a hat that had a twirly, like a beanie with a twirly, and like rose-colored glasses. And I go, wow, you know, that's something else. What do you know?
I'll
What
tell
an
you-
interesting guy.
You know, one of the things when
He had a great sense of humor, right? He was like a really.
I was terrified of him. So,
Oh, okay.
you know, I mean, he's also walking around with a crazy hat and weird glasses. So, you know, I'm like, what's going on?
I like eccentric.
he was always on a scooter. When I remember.
Oh, yeah? No, he was still walking.
But you know, we shot at MGM, the
Yeah.
actual old studio, and you know, I'm from Boston, and you know, when we were doing the show,